Hey guys, Jeff Ryan here. You guys ready to have some fun? I am. We're going to get to this Goop method even a little bit more. One thing that I had a question. The gentleman asked, and I should have got to it last video. I completely forgot. He goes, how do you wire the inside track and outside track? You guys know that I have two different transformers. Each lane has a dedicated transformer. What I don't like, I remember being as a kid when we only had one transformer. If you're going around the turn and your buddy lets up off the juice, well then you go flying off the track. So I eliminated that with each lane has a transformer. So I've got them hooked up here, and then to power the inside track, I just took from terminal number 1 and then ran a wire to terminal number 1, and so on and so forth. So that's how I powered it. So each lane has their own controller and has their own power supply. Plus, I took a wire from here and I ran it all the way down to the other end of the layout, about halfway down, and so I got even juice going around the track. I did want to address that because he asked the question and I forgot to handle it. I forgot to address that. Now, I know last week I chopped the fairing up and I got the little bits here I cut up. Now here's the thing that I was kind of thinking through. Yeah, I've got them in there, but you want it to come out real good. And when I started looking here, I noticed, hey, listen, I sanded the part that had glue on it, and you can see all that nasty glue there. Well, some of that nasty glue is on some of these bits, on some of these little bits I got cut up here. So I'm going to go through them and see if there's any of these little bits that doesn't have the glue on them, and the ones that do have the glue, I'm going to not use them. I was telling you about this, the Riviera that came in. I'm going to probably use this primarily because it's, you know, I can use the trunk or the hood or whatever, and it won't have the glue residual on it. I tell you, before I start chopping up the Riviera, this is kind of neat. Look at the back axle. Back axle has 4 hubs, 4 tires. Interesting, right? Interesting. And I've seen this once before. I got a bunch of T-Jets from a neighbor who was having a garage sale, and just by happenstance, I said, hey, listen, do you have any of the old slot cars? And he did, and he bought them out for me, and I went ahead and bought them, and he had a chassis same or similar to this. Now, you'll notice that the back tire, the red one on the outside, is bigger diameter-wise than the ones on the inside. And the same thing was just like that when I got it years ago from my neighbor. Now, I said, why in the world would you do that? He says, Jeff, we didn't have guardrails as kids. He says when they would go around the turn, if the tire would slide off, well, the smaller tire would still stay on there, and then it would get back in the groove. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant idea. Guys, let me know in the comments if you've ever seen one like this, or if you've done crazy tricks like that back when you was a kid. I'd love to hear about it. Again, message me in the comments. I just found it fascinating that they figured out a way. Hey, listen, we don't have guardrails. Let's figure out a way to keep it on. And I touched this to the transformer when it came in. It does not work whatsoever, so I will definitely take that apart my time and go ahead and clean it and see if we can get it running. But again, just kind of fascinating. As kids, what did you do? Well, let's put 4 hubs, 4 tires on 1 axle. Absolutely brilliant. So let me do this. I'm going to go ahead and wash this up, make sure there's no finger oil or whatnot on it, and then we're going to go ahead and cut it up. And if there's any little bits that I can use from here, I will. But I'm going to go through them one by one because I don't want the glue, the dried glue from 50 years ago on or in the part that we're going to be gooping here for the fairing. I don't want that. So I'm going to go through those, check out, make sure if there is residual glue on there, I won't use it, and probably the majority of the donor car will be coming from the Riviera. Just getting back from the sink, it's still sopping wet. I didn't have much to do with it. I just washed it, put some of the soap on it, and I'm going to go ahead and dry it here. But I think this is going to be a great donor. As far as matching colors, you know how they have this white, the snow white and all that stuff, I think it's going to be matching really, really good. So let me go ahead and get that dried off. Okay, I got the Riviera pretty much good and dried off. And I took these out. You see the little bits, how they have the residual glue on there? I don't think I want to use those. I really don't. I don't think I want to use those. So I'm going to take either the hood or the trunk and use that, because that's more of a clean type of plastic rather than having all the glue on the bits there. So I'm going to go ahead and get my cutter bit out with the Dremel, and I'm going to take that trunk off. There's the Dremel with a little cutter sander bit I got. Now here's another thought. You see the silver stripe? I don't think I want that in the mix either. So let me go ahead and get the trunk cut off here. And when I start cutting it into little bits, I'm not gonna, I don't want that silver stripe on there, so I'm not gonna use that part. Very good, the trunk was easy enough to get off, and what I did is I just used the sander part of the cutter bit there to get the silver off there. Now what I'm gonna do is just cut this into little bits so it'll fit into the jar there. Then we're gonna add the tester's glue there, and probably I'm gonna have to wait till tomorrow, which would be Sunday, to see if we can get everything dissolved the way I want. So I'm going to go ahead and again just chop this into little bits and go from there. Been cutting a little the trunk up, and I even took some of the side panel there. I don't want to have too little. I just been cutting them up to little strips, putting them into the jar there. Again, this is my first time doing it. I am not an expert. You guys are on this journey as well with me right now. And there's some guys out there that are so good at this. I know he mentioned great maintenance last time. He's doing some very, very, very good work, admirable work. And when he puts like a car, I think it was a Falcon or something had, he'll tell you, hey, listen, the body's been repaired, the chassis has been refurbished. He's quite forthright with what he's done, but he's doing some exceptional work. I hope I can get to that level. What I'm doing over here is I just put the Riviera aside. That'll be the donor. If I need more white plastic, I can get it from there. And I realized I haven't touched these since last week. This is how the bumpers came out. I used the Revell Chrome, and they came out very, very, very good. They're for the Fairlane that I'm using, or that I used to make the mold with, to fill this in. So I will recombobulate that. That's a chassis there, and I'll get that Fairlane put back together as well. Now, very quickly, I think that that's going to be enough. You know, not, what is it, about a third of the jar filled there, and then again we got to put some of the glue there, and I don't know how much to put. I'm assuming I'm going to put probably enough to cover everything in there. And I tell you what, while I got it out while I'm thinking about it, Mike Patel, I had an opportunity to meet him at one of the FX toy shows back in the 90s. If you have an opportunity, and I think it might be out of print, if you have an opportunity to get his book, get his book. I kept checking on eBay, kept checking on eBay, and I finally found it, so I snagged a copy. Absolutely wonderful, wonderful, wonderful information in here. And Mike is the gentleman who started the Goop method, okay? It comes from him. I gotta give credit where credit's due. So please, if you have his book, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't have his book, try to find a copy, guys. Try to find a copy. There's valuable information all through it. Just for fun, I got the front and the back bumper on the Fairlane there. I got the chassis on as well. It looks a whole lot better. Looks real good going around the track, doesn't it? Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Again, still have to paint the rear taillights, but that'll be easy enough. Fantastic. And just very quickly, I know I just said the taillights, but you see the round tube here that's styrene, how the end of it's red. What I do is I've got it beveled down to where it'll fit those taillights, and I'll just splooge some red paint on a piece of paper, and then when I dip that in, and then I put that up against the taillight, it gives you a perfect circle. That's how I'm going to paint the taillights. Okay, I've got the tester glue ready, and I've got that in probably maybe about a third full. And instead of just trying to take the brush out and drip some in there, I think I'm going to use a pipette, get it in there, and then go ahead and put it there until everything's covered. I think that'd be a good start, and then we just have to wait for it to dissolve, and I think maybe by tomorrow morning it might be good. I took the paintbrush, I set it aside, and as soon as I opened it, It's some strong smelling glue. And then again, I got the pipette, and look at it. It's already starting to dissolve. You see the murkiness right there? Yeah, it's starting to do its stuff. So again, I'll put the top back on, and I'm gonna just set it aside. All right, I'm just thinking about it. If that's gonna be too thin, I'm gonna add some more plastic to it from the Aurora. If it's too thick, I'm gonna add some more of the glue there. So we literally just have to wait it out and see what happens to it from here on out. Tell you what, yeah, I said this many times, but in between takes, I'm always having a blast. I'm either editing the video or running one of the slot cars. And this is the wrecker I had in last video that has the belly pan on it. Let me tell you something. That belly pan, it's not gonna come off. It's not gonna come off. I am digging it. The way it handles is completely different. You can tell, especially when you're doing the cornering, it's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. That is not gonna come off there. If you have an opportunity to get a belly pan and use it in, I say it on like a taller T-jet, because the Cheetah, let's say the Cheetah, not nearly as tall. Could the Cheetah use a belly pan? Sure it could, sure it could. But when you get, like, again, the ice cream truck, the wrecker here, and you use a belly pan, makes all the difference in the world. Absolutely a blast. And I tell you what, if you guys have used a belly pan, let me know what shell, what body you've used it on. I'm curious to find out. Did you use on the Batmobile? Whatever. Just let me know what you use on, because again, I always think something taller. Even something taller like the dune buggy there, I would certainly use a belly pan on. I mean, they work, and it's such a different feel to it going around the track. So if you guys have used them, in the comments below, let me know. Let me know. I'm very curious. All right, now just a bit ago, I looked at the mixture here, the Goop mixture, and I kind of shook it up a little bit. It'd be interesting, it'd be fun to have. Those rock, tumblers, that rotate it really slow? That would be kind of advantageous to have that keep turning. It might make the Goop quicker. I don't know. Now, again, I can't get to that till tomorrow morning, so I'm thinking either taking the Mustang or the Vent. The Vent has some, it's got some of the green there, the verdigris there. Let's do this just for fun. I've got the, I've got the Brasso that'll help take it off. Now, as far as getting a chassis clean, once again, I'm going back to this. I think I've got the best viewers on YouTube. One of the comments I got was, hey, listen, get a ultrasound unit and put the chassis in the ultrasound unit, and it cleans it like you wouldn't believe. And the gentleman said he's been using it for years. I love pro tips like that, guys, because I'm going to stick it in the Brasso, I'm going to clean it up, and it's going to be fine. But if you have a better way or a different way or something that I haven't mentioned, let me know, guys. I'm always open for the pro tips like that. All right, well, we got some time left today. Just for fun, let's go ahead and get into the Stingray here. I do have a front and back bumper. The other bumper there, that came off. I came off the vet when I got it, so it looks like it's in good shape. Just might need to be re-chromed, but when I redo this and get the, I don't know if it's a decal or a sticker, I'm not sure what that is, probably a sticker, and there's a decal on the side there, and I think there's one on the other side. Yeah, there is. We'll get all that stuff off, we'll get it cleaned up, I'll take the front bumper off, but then I'm going to take the chassis. Now, quite frankly, I don't recall if it worked or not when I first got it. Let's just find out. It may have. Yeah, it does. It does. Not bad. Doesn't sound too good, so I know it can be clean. And what's funny, and you guys are seeing it, look at the red guide pen there, and it looks like he's sanded down whoever had it before I did. So again, going back to when we were kids, you did or used whatever you had. So if he didn't have a front guide pen and he had one for the back, I'm quite sure that's why he used the red one. You know what? Got the Brasso out there. The caution with Brasso: shake it like mad, guys. Always shake it, and you'll get better results like that. It's thick, so shake it for a bit. I took the body off the chassis, and the windshield came out. And I was looking at my spare parts here. I know I've got some bumpers and whatnot, and I do have some windshields, but I didn't find a replacement for the Stingray there. So what I'm going to do is just clean it up as well and re-glue it in there. I'm going to also take the front bumper off there so I can use a new front and back bumper, and it'll look absolutely wonderful when we're done. Now, I'll tell you what, just running my thumb over the, what is it, number 3 there? That's not a decal, that's a sticker. That's a sticker. And I believe that is too. Yeah, I can feel it with my thumbnail. The water slide decals, yeah, you can feel them a little bit, but not like that. So when you usually get these off, yeah, warm soapy water, but then there's always going to be like a glue residual. And if you have anything like, I think I might still have some like for glue gone, is it? Yeah. Yeah, if you got something like a glue gone, or even, I tell you what, even with like isopropyl alcohol, these little alcohol prep pads, they'll get that glue residual off as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get the warm soapy water, get all that off, and we're going to see how it looks. And if I have any of the glue residual, I'll use either the glue gone or the isopropyl alcohol. I've been drying it off a little bit, getting back from the sink, and you can still see where it's there on the side. You can still see I got some glue residuals on the hood there and on the other side there. So I'm going to take some isopropyl alcohol first to see if I can get that stuff off. I tell you what, the only trick of the trade I know with getting goop off like this, and it came from a esthetician. She said, listen, when she's getting old fingernail polish off from her clients, it's not like you just put it on and scrub. She says you put it on, you hold it there with your thumb, and then you kind of slowly pull back, and it helps get it off. And I've tried that over the years, and that works. Great technique. Wow, now listen to me. Not that there wasn't any scrubbing, but when you hold it there and you have some thumb pressure on it or whatever finger you want, and it literally soaks into the glue residual and gets it off. You can't tell if there's a circle on either side or a stripe going down the middle. I'm gonna rinse this off with some warm water, then go ahead and dry it off real good. Was just considering getting the front bumper off, and yeah, you guys see it too. I still got a little bit of the sticker on there on the very front. So I'm gonna get the front bumper off, and I just used my X-Acto knife there to cut the flashing off, and then the bumper should come off. But I did not see that little bit of sticker on there. All right, I got the vet body where I wanted. I got the front and back bumper. Well, the back bumper was off, but I got the front bumper off. Again, you just take your X-Acto knife and you go around where the extra flashing is, and the bumper will come off. I've got a whole new kit there ready to go. It's going to look awesome when we get done. Speaking of the vet bodies, and I know you've been seeing at the bottom of the video so far, there's an update, and I'm very excited about this. Kind of let down a little bit, but very excited, and I'll let you know at the end of the video what's going on with one of the white vets. I know taking care of the chassis as far as cleaning it up, getting the verdigrease off that will not take very long. And while I've got the vet completely stripped, I mean absolutely completely stripped, it's time to use some of the VRP. VRP, as you guys know, I love it. It's a vinyl rubber plastic. It's made by the chemical guys. And there is a caution, and I'm going to keep putting it in every video. Do not put this over a slot car that has a lot of paint on it, okay? It's vinyl rubber plastic. It's not vinyl rubber plastic paint. It's just vinyl rubber plastic. What can happen is I've had a few viewers say, hey, listen, we put it over one of their AFX cars, and it took some of the paint off. I get it, guys. Use caution. Now, the silver accents here, I'm not going to completely avoid it, but I'm not going to be rubbing it in hard. I'm just going to splooge some on, and rub it in. I've got a little paper towel. I'm going to rub it in, let it set for about 15 minutes, and then we wipe it off, and I usually just shirt buff it out. And the luster, the high luster that comes out after using the VRP has always been exceptional. Now listen, the VRP, same thing with the Brasso. Shake the heck out of it. Shake the heck out of it. You really want to do that. Again, I'm just going to put a couple drops in. I've already got my paper towel here, and I'm just going to splooge some on, but then rub it in. And then again, just wait about 15 minutes, then go ahead and take it off. 1 or 2 drops of the VRP, that's all you need, and you can see how nasty it looks right now. But again, just wait. When you get it off, you get all the residuals off, and then again, I shirt buff it out. It just comes out wonderful. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and dive into the chassis next. Well, the good news is we already know that the chassis works. That's good. I'm going to discombobulate the chassis and see what we're up against. I'm going to take the shoes off, everything that I think is going to be going into the brasso there. I'm going to make sure all the parts are separated, and then we're going to go ahead and put them in the bottom of the cup there, and then I'm going to splooge in the brasso and just cover everything that's going to be in there. So as far as what's going to go into the cup, and then I'm going to put the brasso on it, the entire chassis body there, the idler gear, the shoes, and where is it? Yeah, the engine clamp. That every bit of that's going to go into the cup there. And then when the brasso is going to be on it, I'm going to take some time and then get the VRP off the vet body itself and see if we can get that thing looking better. That is everything in the cup right there, and I've got the brasso shaking up real good. So again, I'm just going to make sure that every bit of that stuff is covered, and I'm probably going to work it in a little bit with the toothbrush there, just to make sure every little bit is covered really well. Boy, brasso has that certain smell to it, doesn't it? Absolutely certain smell, but everything's covered. I use a toothbrush to make sure that I get all the parts that I needed covered. The inside of the chassis where the brush springs are, I made sure and got those rather. And now I'm going to go ahead and get the VRP off the vet there, see if we can get that thing looking a whole lot better. Now listen to me guys, if you haven't used the VRP, look what you get with it. Can you see that? Again, the last thing that touches, other than my fingers, is my shirt. Okay, that's just shirt buffed out. I will give you a caution, and I had to apologize to one of my viewers' wives, because he was complaining. He's like, well, Jeff says to buff it out with your shirt. No, well, I usually I'm like Zeppelin casual and stuff, and I've got a guitar t-shirt on here, so I've got my t-shirts to where if I buff it out, my wife will not get upset. Okay, so if you want to use a rag to buff it out or whatever, you're going to get this high luster from the VRP. It's absolutely awesome. And very quickly before I put this down, I did want to mention, if somebody says, oh, well, it devalues it if you buff it out and make it look good. Nonsense. I can prove that is absolute nonsense. 1, it's my toy. I'll do what I want with it. But 2, and I've said this over and over and over, if it looks like crap on eBay, it sells like crap. So if you make it look really good, guess what? You've just increased the value. Well, I'd never buff it out. Nonsense. Make it look good. Now, okay, here's what's interesting about the brasso. You see there how in just been a couple minutes, you see how blue it is? That's because it's getting the verdigris off there. So it's doing its job. I'm gonna do a little, I don't know, 5-10 more minutes, and then I'm gonna go ahead and wash it up and see what we get. I tell you what, I know you guys have heard me say this before. I'm getting to rinse this off in the sink here, and you know how many small parts are in there, right? Make sure that you have one of those screen catchers in your drain there. I would hate for like a shoe, the engine clamp, the idler gear to go down the drain and go, oh, that's gone forever. So just make sure you have something like that. Boy, look at that. That is like new copper, you know what? And the brasso does such a great job. And I know there's guys thinking out there, Jeff, Tarnex works real good. I understand Tarnex works real good. It doesn't usually touch the verdigris. It doesn't. The blue, greenish crud that's on there, Tarnex often works around that. That's why I do the brasso. That came out so good. Absolutely wonderful. Man, it just, the brasso does so good. It's time for reassembly. I just got done cleaning the brushes, and you guys know with these round brushes, you just take them like that, flip them over, take them like that, and you can see where I did it. It gets them clean. So let me do this. I'm gonna reassemble, and when I'm doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and glue the bumpers on and the windshield in, and then it's gonna be track time here shortly. The chassis is reassembled. Does that not look good, guys? Looks freaking awesome, doesn't it? and I just got done gluing the front back bumpers on the windshield. For this project, I used the Scotch Maximum Strength Adhesive. I've used it for years and years and years. I love it. I absolutely love it. The other one I use from time to time if I have to do like a screw post or something, be the Gorilla Glue gel. That works real good. But for what I'm doing now, just the bumpers, the Scotch Maximum Strength Adhesive works very, very good. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and get the back screw in, the front or the chassis, and then the front guide pin, the guide pin and the front screw in. I just tighten up the screws. It is track time, guys. It is absolutely track time. Love it. I absolutely love it when they look this good. You know what? Look at that. Look at that butter. Okay, good. Takes right off. Runs smooth. Runs smooth. I can't quite open it up on the smaller track. Let me open it up on the bigger track here. See what we get. See what we get. Yeah, digging that. Digging that. Did you guys just see that? There's a lizard. There you go. You look at it, he's on the train track. There's a lizard on the track. Too funny. Absolutely too funny. In Florida, we have that a lot. I'm not offended. I kind of like it. I kind of like it. Too funny. Wow. So anyways, listen, if again, it doesn't look that well, it's not going to sell that well. And if anybody tells you, hey, listen, well, buffing them out and making them look shiny devalues them, no, it doesn't. It really doesn't. It's going to increase the value. If I put this on eBay, it would sell more than I got it for. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. That looks absolutely awesome. That looks great. That's what you want. Okay, I know I've been teasing it, and you've seen it at the bottom of the video. I had two white vets here, other than the ones I had. One of them went out to Jim Judice, and another one went out to my viewer. And Jim, great guy, love the guy, he had to opt out of the project. He's sending it back. So I've got another white vet coming in, and it's gonna have the windshield, it's gonna have the driver, and if you think you can paint it up to where it looks like it was made from the Aurora factory, let me know. My email should be down there, should be in the comments below, but I got one coming back. So if you think you're the guy that can make it look like it's factory fresh from Aurora, let me know. Now right now, I'm gonna have to cut the video short. I know this stuff is not done dissolving, so I'm gonna start another video tomorrow morning.